was not presented as a dramatic ending, but as a carefully shaped moment of transition. Rather than leaning heavily on nostalgia, the night focused on meaning, respect, and continuity. Cena's presence alone changed the energy of the arena, reminding everyone of his long-standing role as a pillar of the company. This farewell was not rushed or exaggerated. It was measured, intentional, and deeply reflective. On wins and losses. The match as a symbol, not a showcase. The final match itself was designed with purpose rather than spectacle. Facing Gunther, Cena stepped into a role that emphasized storytelling over dominance. The match highlighted resilience, timing, and mutual respect instead of one-sided heroics. Gunther's victory was not framed as Cena's defeat, but as a symbolic progression forward. Every exchange carried intent, reinforcing the idea that this match existed to elevate the future while honoring the past. The pacing reflected maturity, allowing moments to breathe and emotions to surface naturally. The audience responded not with shock, but with appreciation. This was not about proving anything. It was about passing responsibility. In doing so, Cena demonstrated that legacy is not defined by how loudly one exits, but by what is left behind. The backstage shift after the broadcast. Once the cameras stopped rolling, the tone backstage changed completely. The production chaos faded, replaced by a calm, almost reverent atmosphere. Wrestlers formed lines not out of obligation, but out of respect. Veterans, rising talent, and staff waited patiently to speak with Cena, creating a space that felt personal rather than performative. Conversations were quiet and unguarded. Emotions were visible without being exaggerated. This environment revealed wrestling's human side, where competition gives way to connection. Backstage became a place of shared understanding rather than hierarchy. Cena moved through these interactions with humility, listening as much as speaking. These unscripted moments carried more emotional weight than any on-screen segment, reinforcing that real legacy is felt strongest behind the curtain. Respect between generations. One of the most meaningful moments of the night came through a simple interaction between John Cena and Roman Reigns. Their meeting was calm, deliberate, and unforced. There were no speeches or grand gestures, just mutual recognition. Cena represented the era that carried WWE through cultural expansion, while Roman embodied its present dominance. Their exchange symbolized continuity rather than replacement. Observers noticed how the locker room instinctively gave them space, understanding the importance of the moment. It was not staged for attention, yet it resonated deeply. This interaction communicated respect across generations, showing how leadership evolves without erasing what came before. It was a quiet acknowledgement that the foundation built by one generation allows the next to stand taller. Locker room traditions and unspoken. Meaning beyond public interactions, the locker room was filled with small rituals that revealed wrestling's internal culture. Younger performers observed quietly, learning through presence rather than instruction. Veterans shared brief stories, handshakes, or embraces, each interaction carrying personal meaning. These moments were not planned, yet they followed an unspoken structure rooted in tradition. Cena received gratitude not because of status, but because of influence. Many performers viewed this as an opportunity to close a chapter properly. These rituals serve a deeper purpose within wrestling, reinforcing values like respect, humility, and accountability. Cena's farewell became an informal lesson in how careers should be honored, showing that professionalism is measured by how one treats others when the spotlight fades. Cena's role as a mentor. Throughout the night, Cena's actions reflected leadership rather than celebration. His conversations emphasized encouragement, responsibility, and long-term growth. Rather than focusing on his own accomplishments, he redirected attention toward those continuing the work. Gunther's position in the match, and emerging stars' involvement backstage reinforced Cena's intent to uplift rather than overshadow. His words carried experience without ego, offering guidance instead of dominance. This approach reinforced his reputation as a mentor, who understood the importance of preparing others for success. By framing his farewell as a shared moment rather than a personal milestone, Cena reinforced the idea that leadership is about continuity. His presence reminded younger talent that careers are built through consistency, respect, and awareness of those around you. Leadership without performance. What made Cena's farewell particularly impactful was how little he performed leadership and how naturally he embodied it. There were no dramatic speeches or emotional displays designed for attention. Instead, leadership appeared in patience, listening, and restraint. Cena allowed others to speak, reflect, and express gratitude on their own terms. This quiet confidence reinforced his credibility more than any scripted moment could. Leadership in wrestling is often loud and visible, but Cena demonstrated that influence can be subtle and lasting. His approach set an example for how exits can be meaningful without becoming self-centered. This balance of authority and humility is rare, and it left a lasting impression on those who witnessed it firsthand. The company's role in the farewell WWE's handling of Cena's final match reflected a broader understanding of legacy. The presentation avoided excess and focused on purpose. By emphasizing emotional authenticity over spectacle, the company allowed the moment to resonate naturally. Backstage access, peer acknowledgement, and respectful pacing all contributed to the tone. WWE positioned Cena not as a retiring star, but as a foundational figure transitioning into legacy status. This approach reinforced trust between the performer and the organization. It showed that meaningful storytelling does not require exaggeration. Sometimes restraint creates the strongest impact. The farewell felt complete because it respected both the audience and the performer's journey. Cultural impact. Beyond the ring, Cena's retirement extended beyond wrestling into broader cultural relevance. Media coverage, fan reactions, and peer acknowledgement framed the moment as a milestone rather than a storyline conclusion. His career represented consistency, adaptability, and connection across generations of fans. The farewell highlighted how sports entertainment intersects with leadership, storytelling, and identity. Cena's influence was visible not only in cheers, but in the behavior of those around him. His retirement became a reference point for how figures transition responsibly out of active roles. This cultural impact reinforces that wrestling, at its best, reflects real human values beneath scripted outcomes. Legacy defined by influence, not applause. John Cena's final WWE appearance demonstrated that legacy is defined by influence rather than volume. The night was not about spectacle, but about meaning. From the in-ring storytelling to the backstage interactions, every element reinforced respect, continuity, and humility. Cena left without overshadowing the future, ensuring that his presence strengthened what comes next. His farewell serves as a blueprint for how careers should conclude, with intention, generosity, and awareness of impact. The quiet moments backstage, more than the televised match, revealed the true measure of his legacy. In wrestling, as in life, the strongest influence often speaks softly and lasts the longest.